Hey guys, what's going on? Megan here. Welcome to Team 3D Alpha. All right, you guys asked for it. Uh, Make sure you watch the first one on the best triceps in history, in my opinion. This one's gonna be on best chest, right? Based on your votes on the on Facebook and in the messages and shit like that. All right, best chest. Vote for the next one. Might be shoulders, calves, legs, whatever it is. But once again, I'm using mainly my opinion and also a lot of things you can't fucking deny. Like my top two, or in fact my top three, you can't really argue with. But feel free to comment below your top five. If you want, you can comment below your top five before you even finish watching the video, just to see if how close we are. But all right, let's begin. I'm gonna try to make it as quick as possible. I know I said that in every fucking video and it ends up being a 10-minute video. Let's see how long this video ends up being. Let's say I'm gonna try to shoot for less than 8 minutes. All right. So best chess top five. I'm gonna do my top five, right? Let's see. Number five, I will have to go with this man right here, Franco Columbo. I mean, I wanted to push him a lot higher, but the top four were a little too, a little too badass when it came to chess development. But Franco Columbo, guys, look at his pec development. That is one of the most famous pictures of his chess. Look at that shit, guys. Fucking amazing. And I'm also gonna add a little twist to this series. I'm gonna tell you guys because I studied a lot of these guys. I told you I love studying these bodybuilders. They inspired me when I was a kid. And for those of you that think once again that you can't learn from IBB pros because they're on steroids or whatnot, you wrong. I learned a lot of my crazy theories that science is proving, now, or some of the theories that fucking, through left and right, and we found out was already, known in the science world. A lot of these shit I just learned from observing, bodybuilders, man, seeing their routine, seeing what they did. It was mainly anecdotes and bro science, but it, ended up being, like I said, you're not gonna meet if you get advice from somebody who's on steroids, who has good genetics. Don't say he has good genetics and steroids. I'm not gonna learn anything from him. That's not true because that person cannot be 100% wrong, right? They cannot be 100% wrong. If anything, they could be 30% correct. That's still 30%. You know what I'm saying? Don't disregard bro science, like I tell you guys. Don't disregard anecdotes. Do what I do. I read the science. I read the studies. I observe my body, and I also listen to the people that have been doing it for a long time. Because it's one thing to be in a lab looking at rats and test subjects. Another thing to be hitting that iron 20, 10, 20 years. So there's always something to learn from these guys. And I'm also gonna put down next to each guy what I learned from them, studying their routine, studying their patterns, observing their workouts. Franco, for instance, once again is one of the guys in the 70s. He was known for a lot of volume. I wrote everything down for you guys just so I don't forget. A lot of volume, a lot of frequency. Right? I have everybody but on Excel with all their stats. Well, most popular bodybuilders. A lot of frequency, up to 3 times a week. A lot of guys back there were doing just 3 times a week. A lot of incline presses, as you could tell. Look at this picture right here, man. Like you see his upper pec development, ridiculous, right? They did a lot of incline benches and of course a lot of dips, right? And one thing I noticed when looking at all these guys was they were big dippers, right? They did a lot of dips and of course a lot of dumbbell, heavy ass dumbbell flies to kind of stretch out the pecs. Another exercise that they had in common back then that we don't do a lot now is pullovers, Once again to add the extra stress, a stretch to your chest, which is very important for hypertrophy. So Franco Colombo, guys, check out his pecs. I mean, back to this picture right here. Jesus Christ, man, what the fuck is this? Look at this. Look at from the side. Look at his pecs. Look at his face and look at his chest. Look at his left pec or his right pec. You pick. Look at that. Almost the same size, right? So yeah, Franco, a lot of volume, a lot of frequency, a lot of incline presses, basic movements, right? And obviously pullovers and dips. All right, let's go on to the next guy. I have on the list one of my favorite bodybuilders of all time, Serge Nubret. Guys, look at him. Look at this pec development, man. Dude, I love the class. As much as I like mass monsters, I also miss the classic physiques of the 70s and the 60s and things like that. The small waist, like the only thing that I hate about the physiques back then was they didn't have a lot of trap development. You guys know I'm obsessed with traps and shoulders, my worst body parts. But look at his chest development, guys. Look at this picture right here. Aesthetic as fuck. And I'm not a big once again, like I said, I'm not big on the small frame. I like big motherfuckers, but still, man, like you can't look at this physique and not be inspired. Look at the picture of him next to Arnold. I talked about this picture in an old video. Look at this. Look at the comparison. Look at the chest, guys. Look at Arnold looking at it like, damn. This picture inspired me a lot, man. You could tell Arnold learned a thing or two from Serge. And once again, a lot of my training philosophy also comes from Serge Nubret. A lot of volume, a lot of pump work. Even when I do full body, I do a shitload of volume on the body part that's lagging as opposed to the rest. You can't do 20 sets on every body part in full body workout. So whether you're doing splits or full body, learn one thing from Serge. Yes, these guys had good genetics. Yes, these guys were, most of these guys were maybe all way enhanced, but still, there's something you could learn from them because they don't look the fucking same. It's not all just, you know, genetic differences, even though that plays a part. So Serge's training was mainly volume, volume, volume. That's one thing I got from him was just pumping blood. He was a strong guy. He could bench over 400 pounds, but you would see him benching 135 pounds, 200 pounds, just focusing on that pump, guys. Just yes, he had the fundamental stress of heavy weight and progressive overload, but he focused on getting that blood into the muscle. And you guys know I made countless videos on the importance of that. My chest didn't grow until I started doing. Remember the 100 push-ups every morning thing. My chest grew faster when I was doing that than when I was doing heavy dumbbell benching, barbell benching, and things like that. So that tells you a thing or two about the importance of volume. Also, a lot of frequency. These guys used to train chest 2 to 3 times a week. They use common sense. You want something to grow, hit that shit more often. Same thing I keep preaching every fucking day, guys. But hey, fuck it. And obviously, yes, he was doing all the classic exercises, the pullovers and things like that. A lot of things that we don't do today. I'm focusing on the things that they were doing back then that we're not doing today. Because as you could tell, the chests were completely different back in the 70s as opposed to now. Now, I mean, everyone has like the basic chest. No one has like a super mega evolved chest, and that's due to different reasons. We do less volume, we do less frequency now. We A lot of the exercises, old school exercises, we stopped using like the dumbbell pullover and things like that. That may play a part, but it's mainly the frequency. We don't do as much frequency as these guys used to do. All right, so that's Serge Nubret. Geez, man. Anyway, the number three, another guy, one of my favorite bodybuilders of all time as well. You heard me mention him in a lot of videos. Boom, Bertil Fox, man. Currently serving his sentence, for double murder. Once again, nobody knows what really happened, but anyway, let's stay objective. Let's focus on bodybuilding here. It's a big tragedy, but he was one of my favorite bodybuilders. Uh, when I was young, simply because he was back in the 80s era, whatever, but he still had like that mass that didn't come until the Kevin Lerones and Ronnie Coleman. He had that insane mass, insane strong. Look at his arm development, look at his pec development. That's what his video's about. And he also had fucking badass traps. I mean, look at his chest right here, guys. This picture blows my mind because if you practice your posing, you know that this is the pose that really exposes if your chest is a weak one. Because when you're doing this, your chest is not fully out. I mean, your chest is fully out when you're doing the side chest. So let's go to side chest. When you're doing this, the front lat pose, the front lat spread, your chest, I mean, your shoulders kind of come out, right? So it really exposes if you have a big chest or not. And you're able to see his pecs. Look at the development in his pecs, guys. And this is contest shape, guys. Amazing. And once again, his routine was basic heavy weights. I wrote everything down here for you guys. A lot of volume. Once again, all these guys back in, a lot of volume. The frequency was there. It was about 2 times a week, not 3 times a week like the Arnold days. And as you start seeing the chest become smaller and smaller, a lot of dips. He was a big dipper. Look at this picture right here. Right, I watched a lot of his training videos. They're very hard to find, but he was very big on both tricep and chest dips. Like leaning forward for the chest and things like that. His rep range was around 6 to 10. Same thing. He lifted a lot. He lifted very heavy. He had the shittiest form ever. But hey, it was working for him. Obviously, he also had great genetics, and obviously he did the pullovers. All these guys did the classic exercises. At the end of the video, I'm going to show you guys the classic exercises that all these guys were doing that bodybuilders of today are not doing. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like the basic bench presses, the pullovers, the dumbbell flies, heavy to stretch the pecs, and things like that. All right, let's see. Oh look, I already fucking lied. The video's more than 8 minutes long. Number two. Number two, I believe he has the second best chest in history, guys. My man, and you also heard me mention this guy a lot because he has awesome traps. Uh, Johnny fucking Jackson, one of my favorite bodybuilders of all time. Definitely in the top three favorite bodybuilders of all time. Best chess. I mean, top two best chess ever, guys. He's definitely in the top two. Look at his spec development right here. Just fucking butt cheeks. He's the one that I looked at and realized, man, when you got a big ass chest, it looks like butt cheeks, man. It's just right there. It's like somebody's ass is just right here on your chest, man. Look at this, guys. Look at this picture right here. Look at the snapshot of his pecs. Look at that. Massive. It overpowers his shoulders, overpowers his arms, overpowers everything. And this is a big dude, right? Power lifter turned bodybuilder. And same thing. His training was A lot similar to the 70s training, apart from the frequency. He did a lot of fucking volume. He does a lot of volume, a lot of high repetitions, push-ups, all that stuff. A lot of dips. Once again, all the best chests did dips. I don't know a single guy that was just in the top 5 or the top 10 best chests ever. It was not a consistent dipper. Is that even a fucking word? But anyway, a lot of dips, a lot of volume. Obviously, a lot of benching because he's from his powerlifting background. But he also knows the importance of volume because once again, all these powerlifters when they become bodybuilders, they lower the weight and increase the volume. That's to tell you that simply lifting heavy is not enough to get bigger. That was the case when a powerlifter would become a bodybuilder. He would keep lifting heavy as fuck. But no, they cut down the weight so they could focus on more volume, more repetitions, the pump, the mind muscle connection. So you have a thing or two to learn from these guys. Another picture of Johnny Jackson right here. Insane pec development. One more right here. Look at this. Look at this. Insane chest. All right, and number one, the number one chest of all time. You guys know who it is because if I didn't mention him yet, you already know who it is. And I'm not saying that because he's popular, because he's the one of the biggest figures in bodybuilding. Simply because it's a fact. You cannot fuck with his chest development. What the fuck is this, guys? What the fuck is this? Explain this to me. Look at his chest development. Mind you, these bodybuilders back then were not on half of the steroids bodybuilders are using today. I think back then they were using Hannibal and testosterone derivatives mainly. None of that insulin, IGF-1, GH bullshit. But yet, look at the chest development back then, and you can't say that was one of his strong points because remember this picture I showed you. Look here, he was dwarfed by Serge Nubret when he was younger, and eventually got to this point doing high ass volume, high frequency, 3 times a week frequency, which was how bodybuilding started. People were training their body parts 3 times a week. And once again, a lot of dips, a lot of dumbbell flies. If you watch Pumping Iron, you see him on the dumbbell flies along with all the other motherfuckers back then that had these huge chests. They all had these, gigantic chests because of the philosophy they had: volume, frequency, a lot of dips to stretch it out, a lot of pullovers to stretch out the pecs, crossovers to pump the blood into that, get the maximum contraction. So just hitting the chest from every angle. But look at this chest. How can this not be the number one chest of all time? Look how it comes out, guys. The normal human, if you draw a line down from like his left ear, normal human's chest probably like stops right there. It goes straight down. You could draw a perpendicular line from his left ear all the way down, and that's what the normal human's chest is. Look at all that exercise, guys. Oh no, look at this picture right here. Standing relaxed. Standing relaxed. Look at his pecs, just titties dropping down, butt cheeks hanging. This picture right here. Just insane chest development, guys. And it's not you once again, like I said, you can't blame steroids and you can't blame genetics because a lot of people that have good genetics and are using more steroids than him don't have that chest development. Phil Heath can't fuck with this. He's one of my favorite bodybuilders too. His chest can't even fuck with that, and he's way he's more genetically gifted. He's using way more stuff than Arnold was using. But how can you explain this? Look at this. Look at this. You know. So a thing or two to learn from these guys. The video is longer than I expected, but I hope you enjoy it. Comment below your top 5. Hope you learn a lot from this. The basic summary, that's my basic method when I study anybody, when I analyze people, is I always look at the common thread, what they all have in common. And there it is, guys. The exercises they all have in common that we don't do a lot today and bodybuilders don't do a lot today. Enhanced or natural is heavy dumbbell flies, not basic dumbbell flies, heavy dumbbell flies, dumbbell pullovers, and I know back then they used to say that it was to expand the ribcage, all that shit. I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe I don't know, but I don't give a fuck. It works. I'm doing it. Dumbbell pullovers, dips. I also mentioned in the tricep video, dips is one of the best things you could do for your triceps and your chest, especially your lower pec. Which is, by the way, in case you don't know, your lower pecs are the biggest portion of your chest. So hit them hard with dips. And that's the 3 exercises that they used to do a lot consistently and that we don't do today. And the other 3 things that might play a part in the fact that their chest was so much bigger was the frequency, the volume, and obviously maybe it's because we don't prioritize chest as much as they used to back then. Like bodybuilders today had to gravitate towards having a big back during the Dorian Yates, Lee Haney era. They had to try to get bigger quads after Tom Platz came and showed what a real man's leg supposed to look like. So it could also be that they're devoting other most of the energy to other body parts. But you can't get away from the fact that frequency, volume, and those 3 exercises I just listed also play a big part because we don't do a lot of that today. Honorable mentions, obviously, the likes of Ronnie Coleman, Marcus Rowe, Who else comes to mind? What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? Lou Ferrigno comes to mind. He had a great chest. Dennis James comes to mind. So all these guys are honorable mentions, but I still think that people back in the 70s and the 80s had way, way bigger chests. And that's my list, guys. Hope this helps. I hope you learn. Hope you learned something out of it, right? I don't want to just give you something to, just to entertain you. Learn something out of all of these videos. Look at your chest routine. If you're lagging in that department, try to use some of these principles or do the basic nucleus overload thing. It's been working for me and so many other people. All right, guys. Hope this video helps. Don't forget to suit up. I'm out of here.
Yo, come on, son. Anyway, so I was like, yo, Hanzo, let's make a video and show them how we came up with these insiders. And we spent like the last 10 minutes laughing. So the first one is you have to chill.